Hey, and welcome to Embracing the Journey. My name is Whitney, if we have not met. And today we're sitting at my dining room table and got my cup of coffee and my journal and my Bible. And I really wanted just to set the scene of talking to you across my dining table with some coffee and just talking about what Jesus has been teaching me this week. As last week, Todd on Embracing the Journey shared with us and challenged us to read in Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, and just preparation for what's coming on Sunday of just Jesus' resurrection and just what that looks like and how we're challenged in our life and in preparation of our hearts. And so in that challenge, I began reading in Matthew. And what I really wanted to talk about today was in Matthew 26:6. And it's a scene where a woman, and who's not named in Matthew 26, but is named in John. But Mary, she anoints Jesus with perfume. And why this stuck out to me is because the past few months, God has been taking me on a journey of obedience. And what does that look like in my life? And, to be honest with you and be transparent and authentic, I think a lot of times in my life, I have been partially obedient. And I've not been fully obedient. And I identify with her. I desire to be her because she has this expensive perfume oil. And there could have been doubts in bringing the oil to Jesus of, should I keep this? I know I can get a lot of money from it. We don't know exactly, but I know how I would have been of, should I use this oil? Or how about I use this oil? This is less money. But she doesn't. She uses one of the most expensive oils that she has, expensive perfumes, and she pours it on Jesus's head. And first, when I was reading this, I kind of just laughed because just the scene, they're lounging, they're eating dinner, and here comes Mary, and she just pours a bottle of oil, of perfume, on Jesus's head. And Jesus probably knew what was about to happen, but all the disciples didn't. And they start critiquing her of saying, why would she use that expensive oil and what a waste? And there's never a response from her that we see in the accounts. But Jesus immediately stands up for her and says, y'all need to stop saying that. She's doing exactly what she needs to do. She is being obedient. And what she doesn't know is in that obedience, she is... I don't know if you can hear my kids. They're screaming. Sorry, got distracted. In her obedience, there was more at play that she didn't even realize what was happening. So by being obedient, by pouring that oil on Jesus, she was preparing him for his burial, which she didn't know was going to happen. And I just think sometimes what that said to me is when we take that step of obedience, we don't always know what's on the other side, or we don't always know what's going to happen, but by being obedient, we know that God has a plan. And that was just encouraging to me because I think sometimes for me, in taking that step of obedience, I want to know everything. I want to know, well, by doing this, what happens here? Or now how does this affect this? Or if I give this, will I get this? And that's not how God works. He wants just our heart. And another thing, what I saw in Mary, in being that in obedience, is you see her heart. She's not tied to greed. She's not tied to keeping this for herself. She's truly just trying to love Jesus. And so for me this week, that is my challenge to myself. How do I love like Jesus? And how do I get my heart ready? And one thing I wrote in my journal that I kind of just wanted to challenge all of us is, how can we give generously this week in preparation for Sunday? I think that was one thing that I saw is she could have kept that perfume for whatever she might have needed to buy food, to buy clothes. Instead, she used the perfume, which was 300 denarii in that time. And so it was very expensive, basically. And so what would that have looked like to sell that and to have that money? But she did it. She gave it to Jesus with all that she had to honor and to serve him. And so my challenge for us is, what can we do this week to serve other people, whether that's with our time, maybe that is giving financially to someone or to something. I think about what we're doing on Sunday as a public church. Everything that comes in on Sunday from our giving is going to a partnership that we partner with Willow Bend Farms, who is fighting human trafficking here in Cleveland and the surrounding counties. And so everything that's been given or that's going to be given on Sunday, April 4th, will be given to Willow Bend. And I just think that is being Jesus. That is being Jesus' church. It's bigger than us. We have no idea what he is going to do with that money, but we know that that is part of our obedience as a church to give to that organization. So personally, what does that look like for you? I'm wrestling with that question today. What does that look like for me and my family and Todd and the boys to give generously, whether that's our time or financially, our resources? So I hope this encourages you a little bit and felt like maybe you were in the house. I wanted to be outside, but it's pouring today. So this is the closest I get is a window. But thank you for watching, and I look forward to hearing ways that God challenged your heart in giving and being generous this week.